friends, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really well today. So today I have a new sewing project for you that I am very excited about. I'm going to be recreating my own version of the Doen Sebastian skirt. If you haven't seen this skirt before, it's kind of like a Victorian Edwardian petticoat style, and I think it's so pretty. It has these little pin tucks in it and some eyelet trim, which is so beautiful. So that is what we're going to be making today. Now, if you notice that I'm about to cut to a clip where I look a little bit different, it's because I found out that the beginning of this clip was missing when I went back to edit. So I'm retelling you what we're making today, but I'm very excited about this project. So let me show you all of the materials and the pattern that we'll be using today. So you really wouldn't need a pattern, I think, for this specific design, but I was at Joann's yesterday and they had Simplicity on sale for $1.99, and I saw this skirt and I thought, oh, that is basically the exact same thing. So I just picked this up to make my life a little bit easier, but really all it is a couple of rectangles that you're putting together into this tiered style. What makes the Doen skirt unique are the little pin tucks and also the eyelet details. So I am going to be adding some of those things today. And I like that this pattern already accommodated for the tucks. So I went ahead and cut everything out last night, but I am just using some white cotton muslin from Joann Fabrics. So very simple and easy to access. And there are just a bunch of rectangles here that I've cut out. And then to make mine a little bit more similar to the Doen skirt, I got some eyelet trim from Joann's, and I'm just going to use this as the bottom of the skirt. So instead of it ending at the hemline of the second view of this skirt, which is a little bit shorter than the first view, I'm just going to add that trim along the bottom. So hopefully that should make it look very similar to the original. So I'm excited. I'm going to do mine with an elastic waist just to keep it easy, and I think it's going to be a pretty quick and fun project, and I'm excited to wear this summer. And if I'm able to finish this quickly enough, I think I might wear this for my family's 4th of July celebration tonight. Now, I just got the sewing machine set up and threaded, and I changed out the needle. I got new needles yesterday. I feel like it's been way too long since I've just changed out my regular sewing needles, so I'm hoping that will make sewing go very smoothly today. I was thinking about it. I think for the interior seams, I'm going to use a French seam today because I feel like that kind of fits with the Edwardian style and it will work well with this thin, lightweight muslin. Although maybe the elastic waist doesn't fit so well with the Edwardian style. But if you're interested in learning about different seam finishes or maybe finding alternatives to using a serger or overlocker, I found a really great class called Mastering Seam Finishes over on Craftsy, who are very kindly sponsoring today's video. This class really gets into all the details of different varieties of seam finishes and what they work well for, what types of fabric, so I would highly recommend it if you're wanting to explore that topic further. Now, if you're not yet familiar with Craftsy, Craftsy is your online resource for all things creative, and I have absolutely loved working with them this summer and getting to take advantage of those over 2,000 classes in topics like sewing, knitting, baking, really everything I love. This past weekend, I watched through the entirety of a croissant making class, which I can't wait to implement very soon. I'm so excited. I hope it goes well. And I've also been able to improve my bias cut sewing techniques and a lot of other sewing things just from classes I've taken on Craftsy over the past couple of months. So if you enjoy my YouTube channel, I think you will love Craftsy, and they have a fantastic deal going on for you guys right now. The first 1,000 of you to click the link in the video description will get an entire year's premium membership to Craftsy for $1.49. I just think you can't beat that deal. So thank you again to Craftsy for sponsoring today's video, and now let's put this skirt together. I wanted to give you just a quick look at the different pattern pieces here. So the narrow rectangle is the elastic casing. There are 2 of that one, and then we have the top of the skirt. There are 2 of that one as well. And then for the lower tier, there are 3 of these rectangles that we will be putting together into a loop. So to get started with this project today, I'm going to start by just kind of batching together all of the side seams. So I have the 2 top pieces here, which I'm just going to sew together at the sides. Again, I'm going to use French seams. You could do whatever kind of seam you like. So I'm going to do this for the top pieces, and then also for the 3 lower pieces of the lower tier, and then again for the waistband casing. Okay, so I've just pressed all of the fabric and pinned all of the side seams. There are 7 side seams in total here, so this is really just going to be like a batch sewing process. So I'm going to turn on a movie and just sew in a straight line for quite a long time. Okay, so I have all of those different pieces assembled. So here's the upper part of the skirt. You can see it's now a nice little loop, and then also the same thing for the waistband. So I'm now going to attach the waistband to this part of the skirt, and I'm going to change this slightly from the way the pattern says to. I am going to place this with my right side of my waistband against the wrong side of the inside of the skirt, and this way I can fold it towards the outside and top stitch, and that way everything is encased inside. So the first thing I'm going to do is just pin this all the way around and then sew this loop together. So now I have my waistband attached all the way around. You can see it looks really clean inside and outside, and I'm just going to top stitch right along this edge, leaving a gap near one of the seams so that I can insert my elastic later. Okay, and with that done, now I can move on to the little tucks at the bottom of the top section. And instead of doing like one big tuck as the pattern is designed, I'm going to do 3 to 4 really tiny pin tucks. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm just going to fold my fabric as if I'm about to like hem it, and then I will do a tiny, tiny, tiny little seam all the way around. Then when you press that down later, it creates that little fold in the fabric that looks so pretty and vintage. So I'm going to go ahead and start sewing these. I'm going to just kind of play with it and see what I like the look of, and we will go from there. If you look at the original pattern piece, here is the stitching line and the fold line for each of their tucks. So I'm going to use this kind of as a guide to see where I should end up with my actual length. I have a lot of room to work with here. So I've gone ahead and folded the fabric several inches in. This is where I'm going to start. I'm going to do probably about 1/8 of an inch from the edge of the fabric to create my first tuck. So let's go see how this goes. The first little tuck in the fabric. I think it looks really good, so I'm going to add at least 2 more below it. And here is how it looks with all 3 of the little pin tucks. I think they look so cute, so I'm going to go ahead and move on to the tucks on the lower section of the skirt now and set this to the side. So on the lower part of the skirt, I'm going to do 1 larger tuck at the bottom and then 2 smaller ones up above that. So I'm going to start with the larger one first. I'm going to go with approximately the same placement as the original pattern. Okay, so I started with a 1-inch tuck or 1-inch seam allowance, so it's taking up 2 inches of fabric. And then I'm going to go a bit higher, I think about here on my fabric, and then do a 1/2 inch tuck and then 1 more 1/2 inch tuck. So they'll be a bit thinner and then spaced more out. Okay, now I have all of my tucks in place. I did these 3, and now I'm trying to decide how I want to add the eyelet. So I went ahead and cut the right length of the eyelet trim and sewed this into a loop so it's ready to go. Part of me, I was kind of thinking at first I wanted it to be just a little bit of eyelet sticking out, but I also really like the idea of having this longer length. So I'm kind of thinking I'll sew it on longer first, and if I don't like it, I can always change it because I can't add more once I've taken it away. Now I want the eyelet to sit right underneath this first tuck, so I'm going to put my seam just right underneath that. so I have the eyelet added to the bottom of the skirt. You might notice there is a slight color difference between the material on the eyelet and the main cotton fabric. I don't think it will be super noticeable in the end. I did think when I was buying this fabric that if I don't like that, I can always tea dye the whole thing, but because there's such a bright white here on the embroidery and this is quite sheer, I think it will look okay, so we'll see. I went ahead and added some gathering threads, and I'm going to gather up the lower half of the skirt and attach it to the upper part. Okay, we are now on to the last step. I feel like it is all coming together. It's time to add the elastic. So I just cut a piece of elastic approximately to fit around my waist. I kind of want this to be a little bit looser in the waist and maybe able to be pulled to a little bit more of a lower waistline. So I'm going to try it on after I've threaded the elastic through and just make sure I like how it's sitting, and then I can sew the elastic together and close up this little gap here. I'm so excited to see it all together.
I'll stay till dawn. The breeze in the sky sings me a song. Here I'll stay till dawn.
Oh my goodness, you guys, I think this is one of my favorite things I've made this year. I am so excited about it and I love how it turned out. I feel like it's the perfect thing to wear in summer, especially here in the South where it is boiling hot. I paired it today with this little top that was a gift from my friend Melody. Shout out Melody if you're watching. And I think it looks so cute and perfect for the 4th of July too. A little bit of blue and white. I am so happy with it.
Stay till dawn. The breeze in the sky sings me a song.
Now, because the fabric on this is quite sheer, I do have a slip-on underneath, so you could definitely line it if you preferred. I just feel like it's always easy to wear a little slip under a skirt and I don't find it uncomfortable, so I'm fine with that. But I am so happy with my new skirt. I can't wait to wear this all summer long. Now I'm going to do something kind of high risk because I am bringing a flag cake to my parents' house tonight. So now I'm going to go work with blueberries and raspberries while I wear this. So wish me luck with that. Hopefully it goes well. But thank you all so much for watching and spending your time here on my channel today. Let me know if you decide to give this project a try. I would love to see how yours turns out as well. And thank you again to Craftsy for sponsoring today's video. Remember to check the link in the description to get that amazing discount on a year's premium membership. Thank you so much for hanging out with me here today. I'm going to go finish up my cake and I will show you that. And then I will talk to you in a new video very soon. Bye!
Quiet like a dove, you're whispering a symphony unknown, breathing the breeze and trying to grow, lost in the sun.